I started skiing. Okay, let's restart that. Cut. Take 3. This isn't going well at all. Cut 4. That was so bad. So I started skiing when I was about 2 years old. My parents worked for the ski resort. My mom was a bookkeeper, and so they just got me started in the sport at a young age and put me in the program at Squaw Valley, and then it took off from there. Growing up on the Squaw Valley ski team, we had a big group of kids. Like, there was a lot of kids in the program. There was a lot of free skiing that happened at Squaw, and it was always who could jump off the biggest cliff or do the dumbest thing. So it was always a good group of people pushing each other, and we were always having fun. My name is Bryce Bennett. I'm from Squaw Valley, California. I mean, growing up with my dad he's the man, I love him, but like, he was tough. And I think at a young age, he instilled in me this idea that if you're gonna do a job, you gotta do it with a passion and ownership of what you're producing. There's no other option. If you're gonna do a job, you gotta do it as well as you possibly can. And he kind of gave me this stubbornness to work very hard and take pride in what you're doing. And I thank him for that. At the end of high school, I really wanted to quit ski racing. I didn't have the focus or direction, and things weren't going my way, and I wasn't making the national team. And then I decided to take 1 year off and commit myself to ski racing and see what would happen. And then I made the national team, and then here I am racing Bormio.
Bryce Bennett is the youngest member of the men's speed team. At 6'7" tall, he is an imposing figure and is a promising addition to the team.
It is a very cool opportunity. We do incredibly cool things, but it's also incredibly difficult because I don't have the support that an older guy has as far as equipment. It takes time and a lot of money, and hopefully it pays off. This season, I was home for most of the summer. I got to do my own kind of training program. I've been feeling really good, no back, knee, hip problems at all, which is really rare in this sport. So I've been feeling pretty good. Just having the older guys around is everything because 1, they've been through it, and 2, they have the knowledge to get out of it, whatever hole you dig yourself in. Anything you need, you just kind of bring it up, and they'll have some sort of insight, and you can just try and learn as much as possible from them.
The young guys see that, all right, that's what he's doing, and I'm not that far off, and this is what I got to focus on. So it helps them a lot to be part of that environment, to see what is being done and what is possible. That's all very positive for their own careers.
At first glance, Squaw Valley native Bryce Bennett looks like a basketball star, soaring 6'7". But speed is Bryce's passion, and as one of the bright young stars on the men's speed team, he's approaching his preparation differently this season.
I switched up my dry line from the normal ski teams program. I needed 1, results, and 2, confidence in myself. You walk into the gym and it's a different workout every single day. I've learned so much about my body and human movement, and it really prepares you to be a good athlete. I can push all the way down a World Cup downhill, and I don't get tired at all. Also, just the confidence. You gotta believe in what you're doing, especially when you're at the start gate. For next season, I feel ready for a great year. I had a good season last year. I'm working on my weaknesses and improving my strengths, so I'm hopefully setting myself up for potentially a good season. The head coach, Sasha Rierick, he did believe in me, which is surprising. And he kept putting me in World Cups and I kept gaining experience, and he kept believing in me and giving me the opportunity, and I kept doing my job okay. Where I train in Truckee, and there's a good community of people there, and they work really hard. And it was fun to find people outside of ski racing that worked hard, just because that was what they wanted to do. They're not working hard for anything, just themselves. And that was something that I liked being around a lot, you know? And I wasn't just being competitive with other athletes, I was able to become competitive with like your normal person. The head of California Highway Patrol and firefighters and people within the community. And I just kind of enjoyed that aspect of it. The training then wasn't a focus of ski racing for me. It was a training of how can I become a better athlete. What the hell is that? That was a good workout. Great workout. Oh my God. I know, right? Every time you get in the start gate, you're incredibly nervous for the safety of your life. And you're challenged. The speed's fun, the jumps are big, huge turns. Yeah, I think I've always been drawn for classical downhills. It's just like my background of skiing a lot of terrain and powder skiing, and I think it's very similar to downhill. And it's just a good old time, that downhill skiing, especially with the American downhiller.
Bryce Bennett is skiing balance. We need to get him to just let go. He's thinking too much. He's skiing a little stiff. If he could just trust himself to just let go and be subtle and let it fly, he's going to be fast.
Run it out, and then you get that little bit of ski energy that's going to bring you over there.
Yeah.
Then just let it go, boom, boom, you get the ski energy, and then you go and you get that projection that gets you out left. Bryce Bennett last year had an amazing result here, for sure by far his career best. He did similar to Steven, used his long limbs to absorb the terrain and let the skis flow. The key for Bryce is to enjoy this mountain.
One day in Val Gardena, I don't know what happened. I think all the stars aligned. I was there mentally, I had a good game plan, my skis were running well, and I just went with it, and I came down and I crossed the finish line, and I looked up at the board and I saw 6th place from bib, I don't know, 57 or something, and I was like, is that broken? Should I celebrate? Or fist must have messed up. That board's broken. And then I was like, nope, it's for real. And from then on out, I've been pretty focused on trying to achieve that feeling more. Skiing downhill, I don't know, there's something about it that...
I think Bryce, watching the way he skied last year and the performances he put forth with that skiing, I know he can win and win consistently, because I watch the skiing and I immediately see that and that and that, and he can fix that and he can fix that. And if he really refines some of these other aspects of his skiing, he'll be really good.
Well, Steve, for me, it was funny. My first year, I think he just let me struggle the whole time. And that was great. And then the next season, he was like, well, are you ready to listen to me? I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Ski racing is a constant struggle, that is for sure. When it goes well, it feels pretty good. I mean, I absolutely hate the sport all the time. No, I feel like I wake up every morning, I'm like, ski racing. Yeah, that's what we're doing. No, it's just a tough sport, you know, like you can have a good run and then the next day your mind wanders or you make the wrong decision or you have the wrong focus and it turns into not the day you were hoping for. So you just gotta keep chipping away and hopefully the day lines up and everything works out.
And next up, 9 Simon's fellow American Bryce Bennett, whose best ever World Cup result was here in this Val Gardena downhill. Also his first ever career World Cup top 10. And he has been good in training this week. In fact, in the first training run, he was third back on Wednesday. 10 here twice. Looking for his first ever podium, though. Bryce Bennett, he's into third. And Nyman, as a result, is off the podium into fourth. But the Americans 3-4 right now in Val Gardena.
So he slowly just kind of, you know, he'd help me with the tracks, and we sat down and we watched video the night before the race, and he was like, okay, you're not doing these things and you need to do this. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And I went out and I had my best result ever. And I think I beat him. And he was happy that I skied well. But he was like, I don't know if I should have told him that. You're not gonna win a globe if you don't compete every single weekend at a very high level. So it's like, how can I be competitive every weekend? So just being able to like kind of navigate these different scenarios and situations, that's what really draws me to ski racing. At the end of the day, when I do look back at my career, I want to know that I had a positive influence on this sport and a downhill title on my mantle, more than anything.
Val Gardena is home to the Sasslong Classic, a men's World Cup downhill race that has been held almost every year since 1969.
Val Gardena is the classic that's run every year. It's a motocross track from the get-go all the way down. It's about who can be comfortable in the air, holding tuck, and taking the speed into all those different types of jumps. There's two keys on this course. The first big turn. You come out of the start, you got to skate on a side hill. It's always a little challenging. You have one jump, another jump, you come across the traverse, and then you've got a big roundhouse right footer. That turn is the money turn here. That's where all your speed is going to be for the next 30 to 40 seconds. And really, it's how much speed you take into the next pitches. And then you've got the technical section. You have to camel one, absorb another one, make a turn, camel, and then you have to absorb. You have to ski that well. The most famous part of Sasslong is the camel jump. In the past, in the old days, they used to come through here and have to absorb 3 big rolls. There was always an option to go around it, so the racers could either go through the rolls or take a rounder line by going around these things. And then back in the day, one of the athletes said that they were actually going to jump this, so they didn't have to absorb. And ever since then, it's been the way to go through the camels, is you absorb the first roll, and then over here at this jump right here, you actually jump 40, 45 meters to clear the next roll. Typically, it's a ride jump, so the athletes are coming in with enough speed where they don't really have to jump anymore, and they just have to stay really compact in the air. This year, the camel's actually, the table of the middle camel, the jump camel, is actually built up a little bit. So right now, we're actually looking to press it. And by pressing it, we actually lower our center of gravity down, so we absorb some of that energy and trying to get back to the snow as soon as possible. We want to land just past that crest. That's where we can be the fastest, when we can land just past that crest. Yesterday in training, the athletes were going about 20 meters past that crest. We're going to try to cut that down today by pressing the jump a little bit. And that way we can get in our tuck and get back to the snow where we can be faster on the snow. Here's an example where that press is critical. It's not that far of a distance from Camel 1, Camel 2 here in the Sasslong 2 section. In order to get back on the snow, we have to press. If we don't press, we end up landing down here in the trough.
I don't really know what happened today. I had a good plan last night after video, and I tried my best to commit to that. I was telling myself, just commit to your plan, like no backing down. And so when I crossed the line and I saw the green light, I knew it was a good run.